Whoa, hey! Welcome back to the tutorial series for making a VTube model. Since this was filmed live over on twitch.tv, briannaboonana, we are gonna jump right back in where we left off last video. Sorry if it's a bit jarring, but today we cover rigging eyes. So get your notepads open and a nice cup of hot cocoa, and let's start some learning. If we move the sclera object, everything is inside it. Doesn't move with it because I'm not moving the deformer, so the folder basically. I'm using just the object, which is what you want to avoid when doing rigging, I'll tell you now. You want everything to be done by deformers because you don't want to change the original shape of an object. Because if you say I started messing with this, and I need to give it very quickly. I need to give it a mesh. Let me just do a really quick standard one. If I was to come in and fuck with this, and it became so warped out of shape, and I'm like, oh fuck, well what do I do now? Your only option really is if it was keyed in and you couldn't go back, would be to re-import. To bring that, go back into the folder, the PSD, and bring it back in, and then redo all of that. And that's just what we want to avoid. If you do it with a deformer, there's always the basics here. So if I was just have it on angle, this is we'll go into this in a little bit. If I was to move it around on this, I would go to here and fuck it up here. I can always go back to the default state, which normally is in the middle, and be like, wow, okay, this is broken, I don't want that. Go back here, and then you can take all those keyframes off, and it's back to normal. That's very important. You want to be able to go back to default at any moment without too much hassle, you know? That's all clipped in, that's good. All clipped that I think I need clipped. Cool. All right. So you want to do work on your model, but it's coming in here, eyeball. Right now, it's mesh. So it's a mesh that it has right now is just these 4 little dots. So it's only moving based on these. That's how it comes in by default. So, oh, and the shortcut, what I'm using right now, my mouse is on brush. You get the deform brush, which is just basically a liquefy tool that lets me push and pull more organically. What you want to do to make it bigger and smaller is you hold B on your keyboard and scroll, hold down your mouse and scroll in and out. That is how you change the size of this on the fly. So if I wanted to manipulate loads of it, multiple keys at once, like this, I can. Or I can just make it small and just do one, you know? So this isn't gonna work for us being a square, but you're not gonna get to make it deformed at all. It's not gonna help us. So I tend to be automatic mesh as much as I can, so I don't have to think too hard. The eyeball has the automatic mesh generator has all these scary numbers. We don't have to worry about it. They have standard deformation, little, deformation heavy, and I have a custom one that I copied off someone else. Which is very heavy, but pretty symmetrical across, so it's great for meshing. Here's the things. It's by Moki. He used for his tail tutorials, and I said, I like that. I'm gonna keep that. But this one's a very easy thing. Standard is fine. It's not important, because I'm not gonna be deforming this eye very hard. So just anything that gives it the round edge is good. We're not gonna get too technical, too high technique here. It's okay. So we're just gonna auto mesh that. Same for everything else. We're gonna go down the line and just auto mesh. So get that back up. Standard for the shadows, and same for the soft, standard as well. It goes down a little bit more because it's what's the word? Transparent. It's going into a kind of like a fade. And it's a little bit messy. So like here, I'll show you. It's quite messy how it automatically tries to place all this, but I'm not too worried. This is not going to be deformed, if at all, really. But if you wanted to, we would come in here and start cleaning stuff up, you know? But we're not going to do that for now. We're going to go back in here. We're going to quickly give them standards deforms. Standard. With the eyelid, another standard. Very nice and clean. Beautiful. Thank you. I love that. Eyelashes. We're just going to grab them all. Normally you want to do it like one by one because sometimes the deformer automatically meshes and breaks things, so it'll disappear. But I'm pretty confident that my stuff is clean enough that it's not going to do that. Same with eyebrow. Get a standard in there. Awesome. That's going to work very nicely. It looks like it's got nice looping. Awesome. Art. Standard. So we have, so we're just going to be working on the eye right now. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide the front hair. We don't need it in our way. What you do is you hit the eye icon up here next to the group. Turn that off for now. The mesh is still there. It's just invisible. So, super easy. We will do a warp deformer on the eyeball. This one is just going to be eyeball, and we're going to name what this deformer is doing for us. So we do underscore, and I'm gonna say it's my X angle and my Y angle, which means this is the deformer we're gonna use that makes the eye go up and down. So it's the one that's gonna go left and right, and then up and down inside the eyeball. So we'll go over to our parameter folder here for our eyes. And since this is technically her right eye, we will be coming here to right R open. And we'll be doing a, I'll be adding 2 key forms for the default. So maximum and the minimum. Oh no, wait, actually no, sorry, this is the wrong thing. Okay, see, I was silly for a second there. We're not doing eye open because that's the blinking. We're doing the eyeball. So we're going to be doing one deformer for X and Y because it's not really heavy. It's not a problem to do it like this. So for one, we're going to do X with 3 deformer dots. So this dot here represents neutral. This will be facing forward. This is where our eyes rest. So we want to go all the way over to the left side key. That's where we're telling the eyeball X, Y, that we're going to be sliding over here. I like to make it so that it doesn't let the pupil disappear because if you notice on human eyes, the pupil doesn't tend to go over past the edge of the eyeball. So this is where I'm going to make it the maximum amount to look left for her. And so if we scroll back, there we go, we're showing the eye. And then if we go all the way to the max over here, we're showing the maximum for the right look. Now she can look left and right with this eye. Then we'll come down to eyeball Y. We'll click on that. We'll click on the 3 dots up here. This is our keyform keyer. So basically we're saying at these points, I want the image to do this. And right now we're just doing a simple move. And so this is going to be a little different because it's not easy as like left, right. Instead, it's going to be down and up. So you go to the left or down. This is probably good for as far as I want her looking down. And then how far do we want her eyes to be able to go up? Probably that. Okay, cool. Down and up, left and right. Awesome. Now, it's not gonna work very well, just basic. Her eye is not going to do what we want. So let's open up physics real quick. And then I think it's in... setting the cursor tracker. Cool, it's already done. So when she looks around, it's kind of not hitting the corners the way we want. It's getting stuck on things. It's not very smooth. So instead, we come over here, and here is a little tiny link icon. We click that. We click on the one that if you're trying to combine two different ones here, we're linking these two together so we can work on it. You click on the one above, and it'll link down to the ones below. We grab this, and we see that there's keyframes in the corners here, but they're not really going up into the corner. We're gonna fix that. We're gonna make sure we have this selected, these two. Go up to the little burger menu, and then we're going to go synthesize corners. Don't have to pay too much attention to this. It's pretty much exactly what we want already, and we just go, okay. Now the computer is going to do the thinking for us. It's going to see this point and this point, and it's going to find the mid-ground and do this. Little wonky, weird looking, but we come up into modeling and physics setting, much smoother look. Now she can look around real nice and smooth. Awesome. That's what we want. The most easiest thing to rig is that. And we get into the nitty-gritty. So, we now need to do IR open. We go IR open. We're gonna be working with the eyelashes now. All these little gritty bitties. And I tend to use a path deformer for it, this button here, because it's easier to make them wiggle, but it is manipulating the mesh itself. So we don't have a deformer safety net for this. So that's something to note. That's something to be aware of, that you always want to have a default state somewhere on your keyed framed line, so you don't have to worry about messing up the mesh, you know? Now, since we're doing this, I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna select the tool I'm using. So this tool, it's basically we put dots along the line and we're going to wiggle that line around, okay? So we want one line here at the front, one line here. See, it's straight point, but as soon as I do this over here, we're gonna curve. And then one more here. I roughly wanna just grab these as I go along the line to put them in the middle. And you'll see this blue ring and a red ring. This is the area of effect, basically. And it's telling it how much influence it has and how strongly it influences it. So the blue is how strong, like a solid, really hard influence inside here. And then the red is the area of influence. So I'm gonna bring this down a bit. They don't need to be so strong. But we still want them to influence the pieces. We want them still to kind of overlap each other a little bit. So that, you know, this guy is going to influence everything in this, but it's going to be a little bit softer. So we do that, and I'm going to come here and just quickly do the same thing for here. Pull these down. Doesn't need to be so strong. Same with the bottom eyelid. Do this one here so that it's 4 of them. Bring it down again. Eyelash. So I go from the base to the middle to the tip. Give it 3 so you have a pretty good wiggles influence. I'll grow this a little bit so that there's something encompassing all pieces. All dots need to have been inside of a ring. Do that. Back down. That, awesome. Now all the eyelashes have got little deformer lines on them, so it's gonna be helpful for us. I feel like I should add another one in here just for that curvature there. Alright, cool. I'm gonna have to come back to this mouse icon to be able to do anything with it. Okay. Top eyelid. Alright. Now what I do is I want to use 2 keyframes. So one from the default state and then the closed state. This is default, where we will have our eyes open the widest right now. I like to make it so that it doesn't get influenced until around about like 0.8. It's just so your eyes don't immediately start closing as soon as you're like doing anything. So there's like a default open. You don't want just immediately to have like squishing eyes, you know? So this gives it a buffer room. So from here to here, that's where we'll be making it close. So here's default state buffer, and then down here closed. To close the eye, we grab these dots and we'll start wiggling it to go down. We might want to add more geometry to this eye, actually. I think I want to give it a bit more mesh. So I'm going to use my heavy one. It's just so that I can keep these edges nice and clean. So we'll start grabbing these, wiggling them down. We might need to grab another... Yeah, I'm going to put another line in here, another dot, bump, along the root so that I can curve it. We want to walk this down to where the eye lid line is down here, because when we blink, the top lid comes down and the bottom one doesn't tend to move. So we'll tilt this a little bit, tilt this. Alright, so that should be nice. There's a little bit of a shrink I don't like happening. So what we can do is we come to the burger menu and then we can do extended interpolation. And then we're gonna go ellipse, but I'm also gonna just change it down to 2 because it probably doesn't need too much going on. That'll help us when the blink happens. Let me quickly go up to modeling. I want... Wait, is it... parameter, and then I think it's setting for eyes blinking. Okay. IR and IL are for blinking. Lip sync, we'll also do it here while here. Mouth form and mouth open. So when we go to physics, that'll be considered blinking. Yep, creepy. Same kind of keyframes for the eyelashes as well. So, okay. So this comes down. We're gonna do this, and then we can right click where this grayed out one is for it to be on the exact same spot. So now we have the default sit there, and then here, we're gonna grab these, we're gonna swish it, swish it, swish it, swish it, swish it, swish it. Might do more mesh as well. I guess come up here and just do a swish, swish. You wanna hide it within that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I don't like how it does that. There's a chunk in there. So we're gonna have to go in and we're gonna have to tell it to not hold up like this. You sad, Patrick? Sad. You go to sleep? Oh no. Grab this and switch up.
Hydrate or die.
It's switched a little too quickly, so I think I'm gonna delete this keyframe because I don't like the way it's working, and then redo it. What I can do instead is just swish. Swish, swish, swish. Swish, 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 swish. That's the way I want. Cool. A little bit better. Go in here, grab this, and do another keyframe if I want. Pull it back up, and then redo this keyframe here. Say that I don't like how it disappeared there, so I'm gonna notice it. Awesome. Now it's just the way I want. Don't like that this happens. There's a little gap here, so I'm gonna grab that, go to the main, put this in a bit, switch it over, and then see how that connects. Switch it over a bit more. Awesome. That's better. Doesn't really at the bottom, doesn't really move much until we do eye smile, so that's not important. Eye smile is a more finicky technique, so we'll do that probably for our more advanced model later. This is just to set up a simple model. Alright. So I'm gonna put the eyelashes in their own deformer groups, container things, because the lines here I'm going to use for physics, and they don't tend to like to share performers and wiggly line bitches, you know? So we're gonna go eyelash 3, blink. We're gonna go this. So we would grab this, all that we want, the I1. This is just so that when I copy it, it'll just change it to I2. So like, control copy, yep. Go to eyes group, control V. I've got the eyes group, but with everything still selected like that. Oh, and to navigate to, I realized I didn't say, to move, to get your hand to the hand tool, like the mouse to hand tool, hold down space, and then you can just click and drag around. Silly me, forgot to say that. Now with everything still selected, what you're gonna do is you're gonna right click the canvas and it'll get this menu up. Now we're gonna go down to reflect, and then this is what you're gonna get. Since there's no need to change anything just yet, we can easily just hit OK. Let's see if it works. Nice. Turn off that. Wait, did I not have little eyebrow? Okay. Click, click. Then put the actual eye and heart eye in. Now I want to close that. Cool. Now copy. Yes, I want to copy all of them and its childs and all that good shit. Click on the eyes group so that it'll go into it. We paste that in. Now it's eye group 2. Reflect. Yeah, here we go. I think we need to reflect X. So basically it's when, if you mirror it in without reflecting, I'll show you. I'll show what happens if you don't hit 4 X's. We bring it in. Everything looks great, doesn't it? It looks great. She'll blink normally, she'll be normal, until we go to turn our eyes left or right. Since she was mirrored over, it's acting like it was on the other side, which we don't want. So we're gonna we're gonna undo that. Since everything is still selected, we'll be able to just go back to reflect. Now we hit X reflect, okay? Now her eyeball will now go the opposite way of how it's rigged, which is what we want, because now, perfect. Cool. The eyes are doing that, so now we just have the basis of eyes looking around. We just wanted to show off that, how to mirror that stuff over, easy peasies. We don't need to have everything selected anymore, so we'll just close that. Hit just eyes. There we go. So we got I1, I2. We're just working on I1 at the moment. All right. So when she moves her eyes around, we also want there to be influence of other stuff. So when you do look around, you notice that your eyelids and stuff will be influenced by your eyeball. So when you look up and around, your eyelids will move to accommodate that. Now, we can have fun with some physics now if we want. So remember how we put these in here? We're going to come down to physics. We're going to come down to the plus button at the bottom, and we're going to make a new parameter. Ooh, new skill. So we're going to go eyelash, and then we're gonna go and then viz, so we know that's a physics. We copy that and we change the ID because it's gonna be an asshole if we don't. We can leave it. I think we can leave it at -1 to 1. I'm gonna drag it down, put it in physics, and so we're gonna say for the eyelash that to the left it's going to wiggle. You know what, actually, here's something I need to tell you about. Stabilization dots. So this dot and this dot, if you have them close to each other like this, you can get it to stop from dismounting where it's at. So if we do this, it has a better chance of staying still. This is what we got. We're gonna be very basic. We don't, but what we can do is we can make a second eyelash X-Fizz. And I'll do it. You know what? I'll do it. We'll come down, right click, and replicate. And I'm gonna put a 2 at the end. find out what this does. So basically what you want to do is you want to go down the line and decreasing strength. So the first one, we moved a whole bunch of it, you know? Oh, you know what? This is where interpolation comes in handy here. 2 might be useful. Cool, yeah. I'll show you. So, before it has this weird size shift bounce, and that's going to come through, where it shrinks and grows, shrinks and grows. But ellipse comes in and tells it, no, we don't want to do that. Here's a more smoother transition. So we go like this, and it is smoother now. We don't need 5. We don't need to have that. It's not really needed. 2 is good. All right, and then fizz. So this is the extremes. But here on this one, we're only going to change the tip. We're only going to tilt the tip. I'm doing this on the same manipulator, basically. We're not using a deformer. If I used deformers, you would use 2 different ones. But let's see how this looks when I just do that. So we're gonna go up to physics and we're gonna set up for this. We're gonna go add. I'm gonna go eyelash. Fizz. I don't need to have an input preset, but it's like, what will it follow to, what's gonna influence it to work? And then how does it react? So if it was like long hair, short hair, all that shit, but I don't need that for right now. We're not doing that. Very intimidating, all these menus, definitely. I was very scared when I started. I don't even pay attention to what it says anymore, really. No think, head empty. So you just need to focus on, for now, this add button here and then add button down here. So up here, we're gonna add what is going to tell our eyelash to move when. And so it's going to move when she blinks. We're going to have that wiggle when that blink happens. So that's on IR open right now. We don't have L. We're not desyncing. We're not gonna have them for set up differently, because if you have them on the eyes set up, one on L and one on R, you can do winking, but she doesn't need to wink. She's gonna be a very basic girl. So we're gonna change the effectiveness. It starts at 0. We're gonna put it to 100. And so when she blinks, that lash is gonna wiggle. We're gonna put 2 pendulum things in here. I'm not gonna touch these until I absolutely have to. They're scary. It's basically just saying, how long does the effect happen? How quickly does it stop? How quickly does it like speed up to get to that end result or slow down, all that shit. Don't need to worry. And see how it's reacting every time she blinks? That means we've set it up to go to her blink. So every time it blinks, it'll reflect and react on that. Now we go to output settings and we go add. The output is the physics that we just made. And so when she blinks, excuse you, that little wiggle happens. I don't want the wiggle at the tip to happen too long, so I'll just pull that down to 5-ish. 5, please. 5. I don't want to type. I like wiggly eyelashes. I can open up my folder, actually, my character, and take a look at what I set up for her eyelashes, but I like wiggly. We're just gonna have it like this. This is basics for now, and then we're going to, Oh, okay, they're a bit intense. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna edit all values. We're gonna right click, because this is easy. We're gonna set that to 50 instead of 100. Yeah, much better. Less chaotic slapping around. That's nice. And then we're gonna do it to the same for the other eyelashes. So let me just go to eyelash 1. physics for her eyelashes. At least on this side. Until it gets mirrored over, that's gonna just stay boring. And then we're also gonna do it to the eye, shinies. We're gonna grab eye shiny and we're gonna put that in its own deformer box. Eye shine 1, so eye shine 1, blink, fizz. Up, up. Yeah, that should be fine. So we'll just duplicate this. So we'll replicate, but we're gonna rename it to eye shine. Oops, just that. Just the first one, copy. And 1, so that's gonna react when blink happens. So what we're gonna do is it's gonna also have 3 dots. And I want to do a little twist to them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna demorph them, dysmorph, morph, disfigure, all of it. Twist like that, and then the other one is going to twist. That. Gross. That's what we need. Go up to modeling, and then we go add, eye shine, is blink fizz. All right, and then again, add input. The input is her eyes blinking, so IR open. Coolio, put that to maximum. And then here, we're only doing really 1, so there's no problem to just have 1 pendulum. Go all the way down, shine, cool. So now, whenever she blinks, that's gonna do a little wiggle. Eyebrow. Does each eyebrow part do again? Down. That can be done with a deformer, so we don't need to worry about the wiggle part. That can also be done with a deformer. This form, okay. Angry and then worried. We'll grab that and just... Worried. Give her... Ooh. Okay, that didn't need to happen then. Or here. More topology. This one likes to do everything in triangles, so... Stop. 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 Why do you fight? Why do you fight me? It's better. Now that when she deforms, it's not. Cool. And so we're gonna put this in a deformer, or eyebrow Okay. And angle. X isn't really important. I don't know why there's an eyebrow X. I guess I need to look into that a bit more. Because your eyebrows don't go left and right. An angle, but which way does it go first? In. Okay. Tilt. Awesome. So that's it for the eyebrow, because I'm not going to do the rest of that. This is... should give her more topology, so it's not... She's a relatively lightweight model, so I don't think it's a problem. Keep her eyebrows smooth there. Alright, so what we can do now, our eye group. Cool. That's eye group 1. You know what? While we're here, we'll go ahead and make the toggle for the eye heart. Because we want to do everything in one go, really. We don't want to have to keep coming back and redoing stuff to the eye and then deleting the other one, coming back, blah, blah, blah. We'll do it all in one kind of thing. One sitting. So, heart, eye, toggle. Now we are going to change this. We're going to change the minimum to 0. The difference there. 0, 0, and then what? Excuse you, no. So we'll do 2 keys, one at the end, one at the other end, and then we're going to scooch a little bit over until it hits 0.9, I mean. This basically means that at this point, it only will activate on the 1 and won't be shown until this. So we'll turn on heart and it'll be turned off. Transparency, boop. Transparency, boop. Will be off completely until we toggle it on. in physics, we go up here, go to toggle, and then beep, beep, beep. I've realized I want this heart to be underneath the eye shinies. I want the shinies to come over the top, so we're gonna go here and place that here. Cool. Now that's only gonna be shown that. I also want it to follow the eyeball, so I'm gonna put it in eyeball XY as well. So now, when she looks around, the heart goes there as well. And on this toggle as well, we can put... We want to have the eyeball hidden when she does hard eyes. Do we want them to just be over the top? Over the top. Anyway. Now we gotta set it to 100 at the end. Set this one to 0 and set this one to 0. Why are you visible then? Hang on. Oh, because you're not inside of it. Go inside of it, you silly Billy. Nice. And we have a toggle. Very simply set up. So now we can go copy I1. Yep, I want to copy everything inside of there. Close that group. Go to the eyes. Paste it in. Right click canvas. Reflect. Now we're going to reflect all X's basically. Except... wait, do we really want to... No, we don't want to reflect the eyelash fizz. So just for now, eyeball X needs to be flipped. Nice. Perfect. Just wanted to give you guys a little sneak peek on the ears and how the eyes are working, how we've got them set up with the hook for linking. But we've got some great blinking. The eyelashes have some physics. The eyebrows are very good for the expressiveness. No rigged mouth yet, so it's a little awkward. But this is what we've got at the end of all that work. And I hope to see you guys in the next video, okay? Ta!